Welcome, everyone. We are live. And it is Thursday. Your girl's a little tired today, but who wouldn't be, right? But I'm still good. Today we're saying snip, snip today. Because as you know, I have been planting and pruning and cutting and doing things in the garden. And what especially got me was my rose bush. I was out there and it had, the dead buds from last year, winter, and all those dried sticks from last winter. And I was looking at it and I thought, oh, sure does look kind of yucky. Because it's just so had many brown twigs and, but the thorns. But I got my gloves and I got my pruning shears. And I started to cut away the dead twigs. They didn't have any green leaves. They didn't have any buds. They didn't have anything on them. I cut off all the dead buds from last year. And all the twigs. We're talking like from the bottom as well, right? And then I stepped back and I looked at it. And it was just all green. And I said, wow, look at you. Aren't you beautiful? I did that with my regular rose bush. And then I did that with my Alberta rose. All of the dead twigs have been removed. And it looks really, really lovely. It has all these beautiful green leaves and these little tiny buds that are coming in. And I said, as I was snipping away, I said, there's some things. Because remember, you can apply the principles to your life. That's the whole point of memorizing them, is so you can apply them on the fly. Because think about it. You have the pruning shears. Neville Goddard calls them the pruning shears of revision. You have these shears and you're snipping dead twigs and branches. How do you do that to your life? Well, you're not going to cut off your finger. You're not going to cut off your toes. That's not the application of pruning at all. That's what it is for physically pruning. But for psychologically pruning, you see, it is the perfect example of breaking the mirror to change one's face. We look at something in our lives that we don't like, and instead of going within ourselves to examine what it is psychologically, we start to change things on the outside. Oh, I'll nip tuck here, I'll snip snip over here, I'll stretch over here, I'll pull back over here, and you come out, you're looking like somebody else. When in actuality, the snipping occurs psychologically. But how? Angela, how can I apply pruning psychologically? Well, you look just like you would do the rose bush. You stand back and you look at it, because now the rose bush is your life. The rose bush is you. And it's got great potential. But upon further examination, it's got lots of twigs. They're dead, really and truly. What do those twigs represent? Behaviors, thought patterns, moods, mental attitudes. They're dead. They're no longer useful to you. Like, not at all. Not even remotely useful to you. And so psychologically, to prune them, you stand back, meaning you observe your life from a high ground. Well, you want to be able to see it, right? You want to see the whole thing. So you look at your life. What are you presently doing in your life? That's the first step, isn't it? Observation. You look at it and you say, this part is, yeah, it's dry and withered. I don't like that one. I don't like that attitude. Remember, things wither and die for want of attention. So psychologically, where you withdraw your attention from, psychologically, it will go away. Psychologically, it will. Why? Because you will be busy giving your attention to something else. And whatever you give your attention to, you will make it flourish. You nourish things in your life by giving it your attention. Here is the best example I can give you. You can forget to water your indoor plants. Maybe for a week at most, maybe. I think that might be pushing it. You might forget. So what would make you forget? Something else has your attention. So that thing now is taking up your time where you don't have time to do something else. So because you don't have the time to do it or the attention for it, you're like, oh my God, I forgot. I forgot to water you. What happens to it after a couple of days? It withers. And if you still don't water it, it dies. So do you see how giving your attention to something by tending to it, caring for it, just like you would do a house plant or a pet, just like you would do those things, you give them your attention, like the cat or the dog. You can talk to your plants too. Now, plants don't understand a lick of English or any other language for that matter. But what they do understand is a mood. Oh, how can you say that? Well, they've done some studies on plants. And they respond. They respond very favorably to classical music. Plants don't have ears. So if they don't have ears, how can they possibly respond? They respond to what they feel. Plants have feelings, not in the sense of how humanity has feelings like emotions. No, it is the vibration. You know when you go to the club and you're right, and that you're standing by the speaker and that bass, you can feel the vibration. Makes your whole chest vibrate. That's vibration, movement, right? So you spend time with your pets and you play music for them and you talk to them. Same for your plants. What are you doing? That thing has your attention. You're giving it your attention. So you're feeding it and watering it. What happens to it? Oh, it begins to thrive. It begins to be luscious, and your pets begin to trust you more and they want to hang around you more because you're giving them your attention. But if you forget them because you've become preoccupied with something else has your attention, they begin to wither and eventually die for want of attention. So psychologically, if you are looking at your problem or you're looking at anything in your life, psychologically, whatever you reminisce about has your attention. How can you be sure? Well, you're thinking about it. You're pondering it. You're ruminating on it. You're flipping through the memory of it. That's what you're doing. So it has your attention. And so long as it has your attention, you keep it alive. And because you keep it alive, it will either hinder you, hold you back, or it will move you in the direction you want to move in. So psychologically, to prune, you turn your attention upon what is good, what is true, whatever is honest, whatever is of good report. Think on those things. When you turn your attention towards those things, the same way you can turn your attention towards anything, all you need remember is whatever you give your attention to will flourish. It doesn't matter if it is good. It doesn't matter if it is bad. And it sure as heck doesn't matter if it's indifferent. The thing to remember is whatever has your attention, you make it flourish. So in order to snip the dead branches in our lives, those dead branches, remember, are our attitudes, the way we think of ourselves. You walk around and you've got nothing good to say to yourself, let alone about yourself. It will flourish, period. Where you put your attention makes things flourish. You can see it with your pets. You can see it with your plants. You can see it with your relationships. Think about it. You stop spending time with your man. Stop spending time with your woman. Stop spending time with your kids. What happens? The relationship will suffer. How so? Oh, you don't talk to me anymore. I feel like you don't care about me. That's what it would be like for adults. Kids will start to act a fool. Doing things to do what? Get your attention. Why? Because attention is what makes things flourish. You don't need to believe in that. You need to observe it. So psychologically now, you got a problem. You keep going somewhere. You sitting down. Well, tell me your problem. Your problems have your attention. There's a difference between talking through the problem because you can see the solution and talking through the problem because that's what we learned how to do. And when you talk through the problem the way we've learned how to do, we can sometimes end up with the feelings of victimhood. So we gotta snip that one. You keep saying to yourself, oh my God, I'll give you an example. This man phoned in yesterday. Oh, he was livid. He was livid because his roof needs to be replaced. And when you share a roof, meaning, duplex, townhouse, they all share the same roof, right? So if one's being repaired, but they both need to be repaired, he's mad. you can tell that he spends his time arguing. Because ain't nobody gonna come in and argue like that in the face of reason. All they can hear is argue because that's all they do. Their attention is wholly situated upon proving themselves to be right. Listen, none of us are exempt because we all do it. We see something somewhere in the timeline and we go, ooh, you can try that with me, but you met the right one today. You think you can talk to me like that? And we're having that whole conversation in our heads. That is the attention. Now you're making that argument flourish. And remember the principle of correspondence. As within, so without. So you're nurturing arguing. But I'm justified. Nobody's saying you're not. What I'm saying to you is, remember this. What you give your attention to will flourish. Period. Good, bad, or indifferent. So to snip and prune your life psychologically, examine what has your attention. And how you gonna know what has your attention? You will say, oh my God, why does this always happen to me? Why? Why me? You see, there it is again. That's what you say. Because it's showing you. It is showing you the branch that needs to be psychologically pruned. When you say to yourself, why does this happen to me? You've just recognized your pattern of behavior. So to psychologically snip that one, you turn your attention towards a new pattern you would like to develop in your life. And how does one develop a new pattern in their life? By first observing the old one and recognizing whether you want to keep it or not. And if you say, I don't want it, then what would replace it? Because remember, there are no voids. You can't have a hole. I have to say it. All holes must be filled. They must be. This is why as within, so without. As above, so below. See how it has a counterpart? Because it must. There is a balance. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. There's no cause without an effect, and there is certainly no effect without a cause. So there are no holes in existence. There are no voids in existence. Sometimes it can appear to be a void. Just because you don't see the cause doesn't mean it isn't there. If you are experiencing an effect, there was a cause. Or should I say, there is a cause. So to psychologically prune, you identify, and you don't have to go searching for the old way. The old way is going to make you say, why do I keep doing this? Why does this keep happening to me? That is your cue to stay, wait, wait. What am I doing? What's always happening to me? And that's it right there. That's the branch that needs to be snipped. Because it's the attitude, it's the mental attitude, it's the mood, the thing, the way you feel about yourself that you're giving your attention to. And remember, what you give your attention to will flourish. Good, bad, or indifferent. So when you recognize the pattern that is offensive to you in your life, you snip it by recognizing, how does one form a pattern? By choosing a new pattern. And the way something becomes a pattern, you choose it and you continually give it your attention over and over and over and over by doing it. So you practice, you rehearse until it becomes like the back of your hand, until it becomes Oh my God, I don't have to think about this. I just do it. You don't, and here's the thing, you don't even know that you're just doing it because it now has become invisible to you because you do it so frequently. You've just created the pattern. The pattern becomes invisible, then it becomes like the back of your hand. And for it to become like the back of your hand, you must practice it. So to prune the old psychological way, remove your attention and put it upon the new. Why? Because where you put your attention will flourish. Good, bad, or indifferent. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Where you put your attention, it will flourish. So choose wisely where you will put your attention. And I have given you the example, and we're going to do it again. You have a houseplant, you have a pet, you have a relationship. To give it your attention, you spend time, you touch, you talk. You take your dog for a walk. You brush the cat. Because God knows, especially if you got a Maine Coon, you're going to have hair coming out of places you never knew you had. So you spend the time and the attention to groom it. I just said the word groom. And I want you to think about it. When someone is being groomed, what is the groomer doing? Giving them their attention. Spending time with them. Because out of that grows a level of trust. So you see, it does not matter. I keep telling you, good, bad, or indifferent. Grooming, is it bad? Is it good? It is irrelevant if it is good or bad. It is how you use it. When you do your garden, you're grooming it, you're dressing it. When you prune your mental faculties, you are grooming it. To groom is to spend time, to give something your attention. So if you spend your time and your attention bitching and moaning about how nobody cares about you, and you in this world alone, what do you think you will experience on the outside? That which is within. You feel lonely within? It is a feeling. Everything we experience starts as a feeling first. The mood. Hello? You gotta be in the mood. Yeah, you're hungry, but you don't just eat. You eat what you are in the mood for. The mood, that's where it begins, right there. That is the impetus, the mood. So, remember how you form a pattern by doing the same thing, the same way, every time. So it's not that nobody loves you. It's not that nobody cares about you. That is a lie from the bowels of wherever. You see, what happens is that idea has been held by you for such a long time that you started to see the evidence of it. Why? Because as within, so without. It's not that you're not cared about. It is that the thought, the mood of not being cared about must be seen on the outside, especially depending upon how long you have been holding it and giving it your attention. So to go from lonely to having trusted companions, turn your attention towards what would it feel like to have a companion? A trusted, you don't want just any companion. You want a trusted companion. So you turn your attention towards what would it be like to have a trusted companion? Because where's the attention now? The attention is upon, I don't have anyone. And where you put your attention will flourish. You will begin to see the evidence of why you have no one. You'll begin to see all the quote unquote things that make you worthless. Why would anybody want to spend time with me? Why would anybody want to give me their attention? You'll start to see all of the what? Corresponding reasons for that pattern. So turn your attention. Why? Because things wither and die for want of attention, the same way they flourish and blossom in the presence of attention. So practice. If you catch yourself bemoaning your life, you catch yourself doing that, remind yourself, where I put my attention will flourish. So turn the attention towards, what would it be like to have a trusted companion I can go shopping with, I can play games with, I can take my dog out with their dog. We could cook together, we could laugh together, we could be like the two old men in the balcony on the Muppets. What would that be like? How would I feel about that? Well, by golly gee, I would spring out of bed in the morning and send them a text. Hey girl, how you doing? Hey bro, what up? Yeah, however guys do it. If that's how you would be, you start now to feed that. How? Your attention. By experiencing in imagination what you would be like as a trusted companion. Well, you've got to get it inside of you first. So you've got to be able to see it inside of you. Because when you get the pattern inside of you, you begin to see the evidence of it on the outside. And the more you give your attention to, oh my God, I know I would make an awesome friend. I totally would be like the best companion. I don't even know what kind of arguments we would have. We'd probably argue about dumb things like, oh my God, that is the inner conversation. That now has your attention. And because it has your attention, it will flourish. And you're walking down the street on the sidewalk. You meet somebody wearing the same thing as you. And you, oh my God, I totally love your shoes. And they notice, wait a minute, great minds think alike, we're wearing the same shoes. And you start to have a conversation, or you're at the grocery store, or you're at the library, because you're out and you're living your life. Because in order to see the evidence of something, you have to do it. And we know the evidence of his presence, do we not? So you see the evidence of what you give your attention to. And then you stand back and you admire the simple fact that you recognized your problem and you decided where to put your attention. You saw it in your mind's eye and you reveled in the fact that you knew how to do it. So that now, here's a step we didn't know about. Step 4, you have the experience. Oh, Angela, please. Girl, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It is that easy, and we are all doing it, just unbeknownst to ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So, remember, snip, snip. You don't gotta go hunting for dead branches, baby. Step back and look at your life and you'll see them. And remember, it's not just about the things that you are unhappy with in your life. It is also about the things that you are happy with in your life. You give them your attention, they flourish too. Obviously. Attention does not discriminate. Yes? Attention doesn't discriminate. Wherever you put it, that will flourish. So today, My beautiful friends, ray of sunshine. I see you, baby. Hey, Cyber. And for the others who've not made themselves known in the YouTube chat, I see you. You could be on Facebook or TikTok. I don't know. Why don't you drop in there and say, hey? Now, with TikTok, you guys are funny. I don't know. Because I'm not on TikTok. I'm streaming through TikTok, so I might not see your comment. But know that I know you're there. I know you're there. And Twitter is as Twitter is. Yoda was here. But you know now it's Tumbleweed Twitter. Ciao. You warm it up. Listen, the cutest thing you will ever hear is a rooster who's just discovered his voice. Mm. Oh, yes. They're not strong like his is. He's had time to practice it. He gave it his attention. Hello. Eh. Who's on Fanbase with us this morning? Flo Smiles. Ray Ray. Ursula, darling. Burnt Skillet. I see you. See, as you go through the day today, remember, what you give your attention to will flourish. That is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. You keep driving that car without another change. You ain't giving your attention to the maintenance of your car, you gonna have problems. See, the funny thing with us is we think sometimes that is, if we don't see it instantly, then it can't be true. But if you drive that car long enough, if you keep behaving the way you do long enough, you'll see it. Because you don't see it at first doesn't mean it's not there. And so anything you give your attention to will flourish. Anything you remove obviously, anything you remove your attention from will wither and die for want of attention. So, my beautiful friends, look at that, 32 minutes, I did it. So I'm gonna get the chime. And when you hear the chime this morning, remember, what you give your attention to will flourish, good, bad, or indifferent. That is how you psychologically prune your mental faculties. That's how you prune them. You either remove the attention or you apply the attention. And I give you examples of how to apply attention. Spend time with. Right? Spend time with somebody. That's giving them your attention. You know, you go to a restaurant with somebody and they got their phone. Their phone has their attention, you don't. We have examples of these all around us. Give someone your full attention. Right? It will flourish. You remove your attention, that thing dies. Once you know those things, those two things, it's really only one, but once you know it, it's nothing you believe. It's something one observes. Where is it happening in your life? Where are you giving your attention that is not blooming and blossoming the way you want it to? Do you give it more attention? Well, if you want it there, yes. If you don't want it there, then remove the attention and put it where you want it. So complaining does not make a situation better. Where's the attention? Complaining. So what will flourish? More things to complain about. This is why they teach you that gratitude is the attitude. Why? Because you are focused on gratitude. Gratitude has your attention. So what you give your attention to will flourish. What you remove the attention from will wither and die. So gratitude is the attitude, is not something that is woo-woo. It's not something that is new age. Even as a Christian, they tell you, are you reading your Bible daily? Are you spending time in the presence of God daily? Why? Because what you give your attention to flourishes. I don't think I can say it any clearer than that. God, I love you guys. Let me get the chime. And he may still sing again. This young whippersnapper, his birthday's coming up. In June. And he gonna be 2. Hello, Snug. Let me kiss your mommy. Let me kiss your mommy. Let me kiss your mommy. Yeah. I know. Don't kiss you. Oh, okay. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. Go forth today and remember, that which you give your attention to will flourish. And as Ray of Sunshine reminded us, spend time with it. That is attention. And remember, what you remove your attention from will wither and die. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. And I will see you again tomorrow, Friday, right here on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Fanbase. Oh, yes, I shall. I do love you. Go forth today and know what you give your attention to will flourish, because that is its nature. So it doesn't matter what you want to give your attention to, just know the outcome. Yes? You got it in the bag, baby. I love you.